taking a step back then and looking specifically at inbound and how inbound was structured originally with only the first party inventory. How did you look at organizing that process?
Yeah, I mean, not much differently that it is today. By the way, I mean, the process of the inbound is has been always structured the same way. There are purchase order, and you receive against purchase order whatever come to you. Therefore, the classical 1P business has been structured that Amazon order and gives you a time to get delivered with an address to deliver to with a purchase order. You are fulfilling your order. You're delivering most of the Amazon. You still organize yourself the transportation. Over time, that has moved about a lot. In the US, for example, we took a lot of ownership of the inbound. Therefore, we were coming and picking up from you. But now there is a balance. It's happened in Europe as well. But still in Europe, the tendency is still you deliver to the fulfillment center, the address that you've been given. When your product arrives, we are reconciling and scanning every single item against the purchase order and putting in the inventory basically. And before that, you have to take an appointment, obviously, for your truck, for your delivery, or your carrier have to do it, and you deliver the day. We are reconciling against the purchase order. We take everything we have ordered. We could reject obviously things which have not been ordered, and ultimately we pay the invoice, and the product is stored in the fulfillment center. If you take that, that has not changed basically. That always been like that. After the way we store the product has slightly changed over time, and Amazon also on the way of the scanning, for example, or there was some processes which have been developed but with vendors which were we had a good accuracy and delivery, for example, which is what we call a license plate receive. You know, when the vendor has a good level of logistic optimization already, is able to tell you that in a box they put the item, they are able to label the box with a license plate number, and they are able to give you by EDI what's the content of each box. Now that enable you to start scanning only once the box and automatically receive the inventory which is in the box, but which means that the vendors has a very good level of accuracy as well, you know. But we have vendors like that where the connection have been working for long with them. They have very strong logistic as well and supply chain, and they are able to provide those numbers, which have helped a lot to put in the inventory in our fulfillment center by streamlining the process basically and avoiding scanning every single item. But they always been scanned once, and you should also think about Amazon is receiving whatever, but 1P particularly has never received 20 pallets of the same product. That's very rare. Now there are some products for sure and we do receive them, but the reality of Amazon is the large catalog where we have very few items per SKU. Which means that you receive always by detailed product. It's pieces. It's a few pieces of each of the product. It's rarely boxes of full of the same product.
How did the inbound process change as you rolled out Fulfilled by Amazon?
Yeah, it was interesting. It didn't change much. The backbone of the process is still exactly the same. There is if you look at that purchase order, receiving it's a purchase order and storing. When you take the FBA, okay, there is no purchase order in that case, obviously, because the vendor is sending his product. But the vendor has to create, however, what we could, I don't remember exactly the name, but we could say it's a purchase order. It's creating a shipment, basically, and saying, I'm going to send you all those products, which for us going to be the thing we're going to reconcile against, because that's the inventory which is given. Therefore, it's doing exactly the same thing, is creating those labels, and it's maybe close to the FBA process, except that we the license plate process. It's gonna create these shipments and say, I've got all this inventory to send to you. And every time that the vendor is assigned to a fulfillment center as well, the same way that the vendor will be, we're gonna tell you That's your fulfillment center, and they're gonna deliver the product to it. Now it's gonna create this shipment, put everything on the his own carrier, and Amazon provides solution as well with labels. You know, you can UPS or those kind of carrier that could come and pick up and deliver to us. But basically, you're gonna create your shipment with all your product. You're gonna record it in the vendor portal, which automatically Amazon knows that they will receive those products. When your shipment arrive, we reconcile. We're just opening up and scanning everything the same way that we receive from 1P, except that it's not again a purchase order. It's just again your own shipment data. And after we store exactly the same way that the 1P without any differentiation. Therefore, the process has not changed much because there is still, I would say the two difference is no purchase order because you create the purchase order, but you cannot send product without creating anything. Is the reason why there's still a step there. It's not that you send it doesn't matter and that it arrive on Amazon Manage. If you have not declare or enter in your system that you're gonna send product, we will not receive the product. We'll consider we don't know about. And the second difference as well is you don't have necessarily appointment, particularly when you start using the carrier, the parcel carrier, you know, and that goes in the flow, and we don't know necessarily when. There's no date as much as we have for the 1P basically. Therefore, that's a little bit more variation in terms of when what is gonna come when basically.